Hi, I'm Sarah and I did my invasive species project on alligator weed, daphnia, and kudzu. So in the upper right hand corner you have an image of alligator weed, and in the bottom right hand corner you have an image of daphnia, and the third final image of the green growth is of kudzu. So alligator weed, scientifically known as Alternathuria phylloxera, is commonly referred to as pigweed, alligator grass, or redlegs. Alligator weed originated in South America and is believed to have come from contaminants in a ship's ballast water. The first known record of alligator weed in America was in Mobile, Alabama in 1897. It was also recorded in New Orleans in 1898. So these pictures, there's a picture of kudzu and there's a picture of the Alabama sign. Impacts of alligator weed. Alligator weed creates these dense mats that crowd out native species, force them to compete for resources and space. Alligator weed also impedes on recreational water activities. As you can see, it's very dense, so if you try to bring a boat through it, it's going to get all tangled up in the motor. It also affects water flow and water quality, and also provides a habitat for mosquitoes, as well as it damages pumps and infrastructures. So to identify alligator weed, you need to know three things. It has a hollow stem, and it has these small white flowers that hang on its branches, and finally it has elliptical shaped leaves, as you can see from the images. You'll pretty much know when you see alligator weed. It grows in clusters, and it's pretty neat to see. You can see it a lot on the bayous. So where is alligator weed found? Alligator weed is found in California and in the Mid-South states: Alabama, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Tennessee, Florida, Texas, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, Kentucky. You get the idea. To manage alligator weed. So there's three types of management. You can release the alligator weed flea beetle and the alligator weed moth, and they destroy this plant, and it's proved successful in some southern states. Second option is spraying herbicides, and this is the best management option as good control has been achieved. And the third option is simple mowing or cutting alligator weed, but this is only short-term solution as it can grow back. So my second invasive species is daphnia, scientifically known as Daphnia lumholtzi. There's no set origin for daphnia, but it is native to tropical and subtropical lakes in East Africa, East Australia, and the Asian subcontinent of India. It's unknown how daphnia found its way into the United States, but it is suspected it may have been transported with shipments of Nile perch from Lake Victoria in Africa, where it is a dominant zooplankton, and it went from there to Texas. So impacts of daphnia. So sadly enough, we don't really know or fully understand the effects of daphnia, but we do know that it competes with native daphnia for food, and it has the ability to avoid predation. It has these defenses like its spine and long hooks on the body, which act as barriers against fish consuming them, and this also causes them to become entangled in fishing lines, and they can cloud water with their high numbers. As you can see from this image, they're very small, and they've been kind of clustered together. To identify daphnia, you need to know that it has a long helmet and tail spines, as you can see from the image. It's a very interesting sort of water flea, and it's very small. So where is daphnia found? Daphnia is found in the U.S. in parts of the Tennessee River system. It has several reservoirs in Missouri, and currently it's expanding through Kansas. It can also be found in 13 states from Illinois and Ohio down to Texas, across to North Carolina and South Florida. So you can see it's kind of spread out throughout the map. So how do you manage daphnia? As of now, there's no current control for daphnia. But what we do know is that they're very sensitive to pesticides and man-made chemicals. But the issue with this is if you bring pesticides into the lake, it's going to kill and harm other species. And the focus of most control is on preventing them from coming in the first place, which makes sense. And as you can see in the image, pesticides, not good. So my third and final invasive species is kudzu. It's scientifically known as Pieria lobata. It originated in Japan and was brought to the United States in 1876 for the Philadelphia Centennial Exposition, where it was promoted as an ornamental plant. It can be found elsewhere in Asia, Southeast Asia, and some Pacific islands. So as you can see from the image, it's a very dense, fast-growing plant, and interestingly enough, during the summers, they can grow up to 1 foot a day, so it's expansive. And the impacts of kudzu. Kudzu outcompetes with other species for resources. It grows over structures and anything in its path. It also competes with native flora for light and acts to block their access to resources by growing over them and shading them with its leaves. And as a result, native plants will die. So in the first image, you can see the kudzu growing over this building, or this ancient building, I should say. And it's really neat how it just like takes over everything. So I've identified kudzu. It has leaves that are compounded with 3 broad leaflets up to 4 inches across. And these leaflets may be hairy, and they have 2 to 3 lobes with like little margins, as you can see in the image. Flowers, they also have flowers on them. And they're these purple flowers. They're very fragrant, and they hang in clusters. And flowering occurs in late summer, followed by the production of brown, hairy, flattened seed pods that can contain 3 to 10 seeds. So as you can see, it has a beautiful purple flower on it. So where is kudzu found? In the U.S., kudzu is found throughout the southern states, mostly in Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Mississippi. But it has also been recorded in New York, as you can see from the map. So most of these invasive species that we've talked about, in the southern states. So managing kudzu. So the issue with kudzu is you have to kill its roots to kill it. Like, there's no other way. It'll come back if you don't. So there's 3 ways to do this. You can close mow it every week, or have grazing over successive years, and it may destroy the root system. Also, you can put a systematic herbicide, picloram, directly on the cut stems, and this will go into the root system and destroy it also. And the U.S. has also started growing fungi close to kudzu, and this has proved to be effective. That's my